Hello, everybody. Welcome to my Cowboys family. It's a Thursday night football game going on right now as we speak, as we talk about our Dallas Cowboys here on YouTube. Glad you guys can hopefully make it. I'm going to check the audio here, make sure we got this thing rolling. I'm watching this game. I have a whole bunch of fantasy players in pretty much all my leagues, so I'm watching this Buffalo Bills with LaShawn McCoy. And no Travis, no Benjamin, no Kelvin Benjamin this game for the Bills for at the New York Jets. Who right now, I will say, even though the Jets punted, the Bills are about to punt. What's up, DJ Crown J? How are you doing? What's up, Wolf Rider? Good to see you in the house. I'm gonna try to keep this kind of relatively short. There we go. All right, it's good. The audio is good. That's me talking. All right, guys. Everything works out. Looks good. Um, First off, as always, guys, hit that like button, and if you haven't yet, hit subscribe and hit the notification bell. That's mainly for the rewatchers, especially at this stage of this feed. We have a lot of news to talk about. What's up, Manuel Corona? How you doing? Good to see you out there watching the Thursday night football game and talking to you guys. Yeah, I know, Zero God. They punted. I played my Cowboys family Madden game earlier for our league, and I won 10-0 over the LA Rams. Guys who are not in this, people that don't watch the football Madden stream, it's a franchise league. It's just it's not the Rams like we know them. It's not the Cowboys as we know them. Yeah, we're going to talk about that too, guys. Big news in the injury world, I guess you'll say, regarding big name players, guys. Luckily, not in Dallas. Though I guess you can say Zeke out for 6 weeks. That's a pretty big injury, I guess. If you look at it that way, I guess that's the way we kind of have to look at it, except the fact that we know he's not injured. So, all right. So, guys, as you know, the big news of the day, Deshaun Watson, guys, from the Houston Texans, he is out for the year. They confirmed that I think he tore his ACL. Horrible, horrible thing, guys. Yeah, non-contact injury. MRI came in. Torn ACL, he's out for the year, injury reserve. It really shuts down a great season, a great rookie season, guys. Probably rookie of the year. I'd say him and Kareem Hunt were like, one and two. I'd say Kareem Hunt was second because at quarterback it's very difficult. It wasn't for Zeke's unbelievable year last year. Dak would have easily won that rookie of the year. It was so close because Zeke did so fantastic, and Dak going from getting drafted from where he was in the fourth round to do what he did, unmatched. Unfortunately, and this is the reality, injuries are part of the game. When you're talking Emmitt Smith lasting as long as he did, Barry Sanders retiring early, these kind of things, that's part of the game. If you either quit or you get injured, that's unfortunately part of the game. This is a big blow to Houston Texans, and much love out there to all you guys, all the fans out there, and Deshaun Watson. Like I said in the stream earlier, in the Madden stream, it's going to be something. At least you guys have a little bit of solace in the sense that you can take some solace in in the Houston city itself, even though these tragedies have happened, and I say tragedy, I really mean a tragedy as in the Hurricane Harvey situation, and then of course this unfortunate incident with Deshaun Watson. Their Astros won the championship. I was rooting for the Dodgers, but I didn't really care, guys. I'm not really a big baseball fan. But yes, that was a at least they won that. But their Houston's Texans season seems like it's in danger right now. So I think Savage is taking over for Houston. So we'll have to see how that turns out for them as far as their season is concerned. But this young guy, it's a shame, guys. Let me see. What's up, Purple Gaming? How are you doing? What's up? Zero God loading. Yes. I have McCoy in one of my leagues as well. Oh, you have LaShawn McCoy, Zero God? Oh, not against me. What's up, LL? How you doing? Look, we got our top three fantasy owners in here, guys. Zero God loading, who's first place, won 7 in a row. He's 7-1. Cowboys legend at third place, tied with a bunch of other people, with myself, my Cowboys family. But we are LL and myself, Cowboys legend. There we are. 6-2 and right there neck and neck at tied for second. So, still one game behind you, Zero God. And I play Zero God this week, so it's a battle. So yep. Thornton, Colorado, guys. And I've been to Colorado. It's really nice out there. I love cold weather, and I love the mountains and that kind of stuff. So Central Florida is not that place. So, anytime I get a chance to get out there and see any kind of mountains anywhere, or any cold weather, I love it. So much love out there, and especially for Thornton, Colorado. LL. Manuel Corona. So many talking heads said we're going to struggle without Zeke. Think all our backs step up and prove everyone wrong. And yes, Manuel, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Let me just go run through some of these injury stuff here. And I want to start with the NFL because a lot of big names were put on IR. Starting, of course, we've already talked about Deshaun Watson, but guys, the Colts quarterback, Andrew Luck, officially with his shoulder injury, he's been basically out for the whole year. He hasn't played at all. Every week they're like, oh, he's back at practice. Maybe he's going to practice. It's not going to happen for him this year in the Colts. So they're rolling with Jacoby Brissett the rest of this season. And, he's looked pretty good. Impressed, I would say. So, as far as that's concerned, guys, that was earlier in the day today that was kind of done. And actually, late breaking news, guys, just kind of broke here. Pierre Garçon is placed on IR for the 49ers. Yes, I know it's the 49ers. Yes, I know they're 0-7 or whatever they are. But, just another named guy came from the NFC East, after the Colts. But, came from the Redskins to the Niners, and we just played them. So I thought it was I guess something worth mentioning. But yes, GM John Lynch just confirmed that for the Niners that Pierre Garçon put on IR. John Lynch, he was a good player for Tampa back then. So as I said, guys, Andrew Luck, Pierre Garçon, and now Deshaun Watson, guys. These are three major, huge injuries of major players. It really wrecks. I would concentrate, not really Garçon, but the other two guys that, Indianapolis really had no chance anymore. I think that's probably why they just shelved them for the rest of the year. And, the biggest blow of them all, though, is by far Deshaun Watson. So, just as far as our side of things, a little quick side note, guys. We did pick up Trey Williams. Trey Williams, formerly from Texas A&M. We had him a couple years ago as well. He is officially on our team, on the practice squad. We released defensive end Stanley Maponga. He's gone. He was just a practice squatter. He's gone, and we just filled in that spot with Trey Williams. I still think we have an open spot in the 53, so keep an eye out for that too, guys, in the next couple of days or so. Let's see what happens. I'm not 100% sure if they move someone in that spot, but in the meantime, I'm going to say no as of right now. And again, guys, keep in mind, you're hearing Romo right now in this game here, the Buffalo Jets game. Romo's doing the Thursday night game. Dak Prescott was asked about Romo doing his game, and Dak said that he expects Tony Romo to be critical of him during Sunday's Chiefs-Cowboys game that Tony Romo is announcing. So, again, that's always a little interesting side note. If you're watching that game, you're going to be hearing, Romo talking, and that game here for us here is a locally televised game. I think it is a national televised game. So everybody should be watching this game, enjoying it with us on My Cowboys Family on Sunday afternoon at 4:30, guys. We'll be starting at 4, so catch us at 4. Now, let's go to the injuries, guys. That's what we really want to talk about, on our team's injuries. And let me just roll that real quick. I could just clear out this Zeke thing real quick. You want me to do that? Yeah, I will. Okay, so anyways, guys, the Second Circuit may rule on Zeke's motion to stay, and then be able to take it to that injunction level again. But they said that they're going to try and do it this week. So keep an eye out for tomorrow. That could happen. But they won't have any oral arguments yet. It's probably not going to happen. But they're still trying to keep hope alive that somehow this week they sneak it in under the gun. I just wanted to mention that because as a side note. But don't count on that happening. Yes, by the way, guys, 3-0. I think the Jets just hit that field goal. Let me know if I'm wrong, guys. I have the Buffalo defense in one of my leagues, and that would hurt. Let's see. I'm going to hit some of these questions real quick, guys. Sorry about that. When I'm rolling solo, it's a little bit harder to catch up. So just bear with me, guys. Hang in there. So let's see here. I was here. Manuel Corona, so many talking heads. That's where I left off. Had a shooting here. Wow. Oh, LL. Take care, man. I hope you guys are safe. I'm sorry. I stopped reading at that moment. Oh, man. Yeah, well, I mean, we didn't really throw up prayers out here, but definitely our thoughts and well-being, we're hoping for the best out there, guys. So, LL, much love for Thornton, Colorado, and I hope everybody's safe first and foremost. I hope nobody's majorly injured or killed in this situation. I haven't heard anything yet on that, but thank you for that information, Cowboys legend. I know you're out there. I think you live out there near in Colorado. I'm not really sure, so I'm maybe just talking on my butt. So sorry about that, man. But yeah, man, if there's a shooting out there, just hopefully everyone's okay, guys, and our thoughts are out there. Rack City, Heath Evans is. Yes, I agree with you, Rack City, for sure. By the way, guys, if you haven't done it yet, try to get your games played. I'm going to probably sim those games tonight. Anybody who's in that My Cowboys Family Fantasy League. So please get your games done so we can go to week 5. Check that out. So let me see. Hold on, guys. Make sure this is working through here. Let me see. Romo's going to be calling our plays. Yes. He probably will know most of our plays, Manuel Corona. I do agree, Mixon. Anthony Mixon. It's going to be a close. I do believe it's going to be a close game. All right, so guys, let me see here. Sorry, guys, I'm having a little interruption on my phone. I gotta wait for this thing to pass. But hey, keep those questions coming, guys. I'm gonna run back to your questions in a moment. But let me continue with the NFL news here for our injuries for the Dallas Cowboys. That's what we're talking about. So, guys, we start off the day today with my fiance's breaking news. Cole Beasley, guys, concussion. He's back at practice. He's out of the concussion protocol. He's back in the field. He was back at the open session of the first early practice. We're good to go, guys. Beasley looks like he's all good. So, as my fiance reported earlier today, he's back at practice. So we expect him to play this weekend. So good deal there, guys. The other major 2 guys that came up on our list yesterday was Dez Bryant and Demarcus Lawrence. So Dez Bryant, guys, what happened was Dez's knee was bothering him at the end of the practice yesterday. It's kind of like what my fiance and I said yesterday, last night's stream, where Dez. When you say limited, it could be something major or minor, but if it happens in the game, it could just be something. Most of the time, it's precautionary. So, thankfully for Dez Bryant, his knee issue was just a little thing, and it was not a big deal. He definitely, I think he practiced today, no problem. Demarcus Lawrence, his calf was bothering him yesterday, guys, during the practice. It wasn't a tear or anything like that. Same thing with Dez. His knee was bothering him, Dez, and the calf was bothering Demarcus Lawrence, Tank Lawrence. So he again also practiced. So those 2 things, guys, are those 3 things. Major good news on the injury front for the Cow. While all these NFL is having a lot of issues right now. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. The Jets scored a touchdown. My fault. It wasn't a field goal. Jets touchdown. I don't know who scored it, but I'm hoping it's one of their running backs. So, guys, let me see here. So, of course, you guys heard already that I hope you heard me say it earlier, but Dan Bailey, with his groin injury, was the only player that was not in the field with the entire team at practice today. Everybody was out there, guys. Dez Bryant, Demarcus Lawrence, even Chido was on the field. But let's put a hold on that guy right now for a second, because that's not going to happen. I don't see Awuzie playing this game. And I'll explain why in a moment. Just to rewind a little bit, Demarcus Lawrence said his calf is feeling better. He said, quote, "I'll be at the game, and I will be there. If I'm going to be there, I'm going to play." So he's in, guys. Demarcus Lawrence also said the toughest part of his suspension was watching the games. So he's telling Zeke, he said, "Zeke, do not watch the games. Just watch the highlights." So, just some advice there from Demarcus Lawrence. But yes, his calf, he's going to be out there playing, guys, game day. He's going to be, he did practice. So let me run through these injuries here real quick. So we have, of course, Bailey did not practice. We know that. He's going to be gone for a couple more weeks. The only other guy who did not officially practice, was Chido Awuzie, Chido. Chido, and it sucks, guys. I really thought he'd be back this week. It doesn't look like it's happening. Doesn't look like it's happening, guys. He's been out for, 3 weeks already? And again, I don't know. Tomorrow is his last chance to even get on. If he even gets on the field limited, you might see a question mark. But honestly, I'm saying no go for this weekend again. So, again, guys, we have to rely on Jordan Lewis and on Anthony Brown. I just said that. Yes, Anthony Brown. And Orlando Scandrick. And, Byron Jones with the tight ends. I mean, he can definitely help out there with Kelsey. It's going to be a tough matchup for him. But he's one of the better tight end cover safeties in the league. So I'm kind of, I think he'll do a good job against Kelsey. I'm afraid about the passing when it comes to AB, Anthony Brown, and also Jordan Lewis a little bit, guys. I do think that we're going to have Xavier Woods playing a lot, corner and safety mix. Heath will come out some plays. Sometimes you'll have Heath and Byron Jones playing up, and Xavier Woods playing the other safety, with Woods playing kind of like a cornerback safety coverage on the tight end role. So almost a linebacker. So I think you're going to see these things happening tomorrow. I mean, I'm sorry, on Sunday against the Chiefs. But the disappointment here is that Awuzie, did not practice again, second straight day. Probably won't practice tomorrow. If he does, probably be limited. And I personally, I'm not, obviously hooked up with anything inside, but I personally don't think he's going to play with the way this is going. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see him playing this weekend, guys. So don't expect anything from him. Now, Beasley did not play yesterday. He was limited today. That's expected. Hopefully tomorrow he'll be full. So we'll look for that on the injury report. Noah Brown was limited yesterday, limited today again with his thigh injury. At worst he becomes inactive, for this week, which would, it's not a bigger loss, I guess you can say. Des Bryant with his knee was limited yesterday. Today, full go, guys. So Des Bryant, full go. Malik Collins, of course, that concerns me a lot. I think we need him out there. He was injured last week with his foot. He was limited the whole week. Actually did not practice until the last day. I think he was limited, and he did play. But he was limited yesterday. Today he was also limited. It just sounds like it's more of a just a precautionary thing. They're just going to maintain it so it doesn't get any worse. They don't want to push it too much, but he's going to play out there. If he played last week, he's going to play this week. Now, guys, remember Kyle Wilbur and Justin Durant were having issues last week with their knee and groin. So Wilbur with his knee, he was at practice yesterday, full practice, again, full today. We knew that because he did play on Sunday, this past Sunday. Justin Durant was inactive and with his groin injury, and he was full yesterday, and today he was full again. So we're good. Our linebacking core is back, full blast, for better or for worse. One might be still inactive, but either way, we got them all back if we need them, so that's good. And Justin Durant does provide some wisdom, trust me. DeMarcus Lawrence, the other big name here, defensive end, with his calf injury, leading the NFL with 10.5 sacks. He was limited yesterday. Today he was limited again. So unlike Des Bryant, who was full blast, he was limited. As he said, though, he's going to play. So he's out there. He's playing. He'll be out there, guys. Brian Price was put on the list today for some unknown reason. He was not on there yesterday. He was at full practice, though. So whatever it wasn't a big deal. And then Tyron Smith, guys, as you know, yesterday did not practice. His usual Wednesdays, he doesn't play. He doesn't practice on Wednesday, so it's going to be his main maintenance for the rest of the season. So that's expected. Today he was limited. So basically what you're going to see from Tyron Smith and the way they're going to work him at practice is going to be Wednesdays when they go to practice, he won't practice. It'll be a day off for him. On Thursday when they practice, he'll be limited. And on Fridays, he'll be full. Barring any setbacks, guess what? He'll be in there, guys. Number 77, blocking for whoever's running the ball and covering Dak's blind side. So that's the whole crew, guys. I mean, that's as far as the Cowboys are concerned. That's where we sit. How long is Chido out, Assad? We don't know. Nobody knows. 3 weeks right now, and we're seeing how much longer, because it's not good that I don't believe it's good that he's missed so much time here. It's obviously you all agree with us and agree with me that it's an issue to have these guys missing, but especially our rookie who needs to be out there learning and actually helping out what we have out there right now, since we let Nolan Carroll go, although he was trash anyways. So let's see here, guys. Yes, for Beasley. Yes, we got Beasley, Ashad, Bionic Cam. You remember when they were looking at fingers and lighting the head? Yeah, exactly. No, I know, Bionic. That was a concerning moment. Once they bring out that light and start doing that concussion protocol. So once they did that, he's out of the game, and they kind of knew it. They have to do it, though, and that's the best thing for the player. So I definitely am down with that. But I will say that, you always worry about that, especially when you see that Rico Gathers issue, which also involves his jaw and neck. I don't know. He's doesn't look like he's going to be back this year as far as Rico Gathers is concerned. Let me see a couple more questions here. Des faked it so he can get open on Sunday. Yeah, but he was back at full practice, Anthony. That's I guess the bad part of it, in the sense that it's not going to fall into the tricking him kind of deal. I answered Assad's question about Chido. Manuel Corona, Chido. Yes, I know. I agree with you, Manuel. We need him back. Mr. Wright says the people protesting in NFL and their sponsors are taking its toll. Papa John's has dropped the NFL as a sponsor. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard things on both sides of that, Mr. Wright. I don't want to get into the politics of that. I did hear, though, they made the Papa John's guy made some kind of insensitive statement. And again, I'm not one of those snowflakes, but I will say, sometimes, in this day and age right now, a lot of people are definitely saying overly insensitive things. But there's a, I take each of one of those accounts, by case by case, I guess you can say. But I do think that it will take its toll somewhat, and as always, I do think it will bounce back. I didn't actually today when I was watching the beginning of tonight's game. Actually, the Jets are up 7-0 with 3:25 in the first quarter. By the way, guys, Jets are looking pretty good. I have the Bills defense. I didn't think that they would be doing this well so fast. But my point is, guys, is that I didn't see any when it came to the anthem today in tonight's game. I didn't see anybody kneeling. McCoy, who was working out on the weekend after Trump's comments, McCoy was up there standing with his hand in his heart. So they were doing a protest that week was mainly against Trump, not against any kind of Americans issues or injustices. It was more Trump statements, and I had no problem with that actually that weekend. Manuel Corona, again, I just want to go back 1 second. They'll say, no matter what my opinions are on this, it's irrelevant. They have the right to do it, and that's where I stand with it. They have the right to do it. Everything else, and companies have the right to pull their sponsorship. They have that right too. And that's all good if they want to do that. Third down, interception. Oh, you get Buffalo almost had an interception right there. Darn. And it would have had great field position, and that would have helped my defense and my offense, because I have a couple guys playing as well. Oh, you hit him right in the hands, number 24. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, we'll see if there's any Papa John commercials too. It'd be interesting to see, guys. It's always, I guess if it's there and it's part of the news, I guess it's interesting to see it. I just wish all this stuff wasn't around either way, whether it's from the beginning in 2009 when it came to the NFL taking millions and millions of dollars, up into 20 millions when you add it all up. Over $20 million to force players on the field, to force the national anthem to be a spectacle before every game, to include patriotism, to kind of sell patriotism, and actually break a lot of flag laws in the process. And then when the kneeling began for reasons that were outside of football, people had an issue with that, and that's when this whole thing started. Whether you want to start it, wherever you want to start to blame, it doesn't matter. It's all sides are to blame, and it's going to take a toll on the NFL for a short term. It's my true to the heart opinion, guys, because as in every society, usually in every society, you evolve, and sometimes it's a hard change, but it does happen, and I think it happens eventually. So, anyways, guys, back to football. And I see here Manuel Corona saying Papa John's and Jerry has a big partnership. I'm sure it had a lot to do with it. Yeah, that's true too. Interesting. Good comment there, Manuel. I forgot it. I know Jerry Jones is big time got partner with Papa John's, so maybe that pushed the NFL away from that as well. So I don't know. I know there was a quote after that. Let's see here. Mr. Wright says they don't have the right to do it. Hear me out. My body, my choice, right? But if you put weed in it, you are suspended. Well, okay, Mr. Wright, it's not just so simple as that sentence right there. It's not that simple statement. It's more, you're choosing to put that in your body, and it's against the rules. It's not against the rules to kneel for the national anthem or the flags, any flag ceremonies. You don't have to stand for the national anthem. You don't have to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance if you don't want to. And there's millions of reasons why you don't have to stand for that, and it doesn't matter because everybody has the right to do that. So, again, you can burn the flag. I don't agree with that, but people can do that. That's their right. And if you cannot infringe on their rights by beating them up or shooting them or putting them in jail, because that's North Korea. It's either America or North Korea, what you're talking about. So just keep that in mind. And again, these flag code violations, all that stuff, people putting the flag on any part of their body is a violation of the flag code. The flag being put horizontally on a football field is a violation of the flag code. So let's call it from the start. Let's not just pick what we want to pick and choose from to criticize. Let's criticize it all when people break that rule. And also, if you're at home and you don't stand for the anthem at football games like today, and actually I was standing. Not that I usually stand for it at home. I freely admit that. I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. But I happened to be standing. And I didn't stand for it. I happened just to be standing. But my point is, I thought about it at the beginning of this game tonight. I wonder how many people are truly standing. And I hope if you're critical of this, make sure you stand if you are against the players and you're complaining about people standing or not. Because then you should be standing for this when it's on TV and you see it at your house, anywhere, at the bar. As I'm not saying you, Mr. Red, but as a person, takes a shot, alcohol, and and then they're sitting for the pledge, sitting for the national anthem, and then they sit there and say, "Oh, look at that Kaepernick guy. You know what I mean? It's a little hypocrisy there. Anyways, what's up, 345 King? What's up, man? How you doing? Yes, Mr. Wright. Debating how you feel on either side isn't important. The rules of the employers the debate. It's not about feelings on this one, Mr. Wright. Like I just said, it's the U.S. rules and laws, and since it's not under debate at this point because the rules do say that the employers, the NFL, and this is why they had that that meeting at the with all the about this topic with the NFL players specifically. That's why Jerry Jones snuck out the back door because he knows he was wrong in what he said, and he knows he can't suspend anybody or doing his. It's like a state versus federal law. He's a state. Federal is the NFL, and NFL outweighs and overtakes the state law. So you stand. Good job. All right. Oh, all right. Hey, listen, and we appreciate your service, Mr. Wright, and that's something that that you actually fought for your service, and thank you for your service, by the way, to this country. But because of your service to this country is why people can sit for the Pledge of Allegiance or sit for the national anthem. I had my hat on during the anthem. I just never really took it off in my life, and I really, tonight was no different. I'm not going outwardly disrespecting the flag or disrespect the anthem. Just living my life, and I'm not being a hypocrite either. But at the same time, guys, it's whatever it feels to you, Mr. Wright. That's awesome. That the flag and the anthem has that kind of connection to you, and it has that to a lot of people, millions of Americans. But just because you don't feel that same connection doesn't mean that person should be, ostracized, put in jail, beaten up, or whatever it is that, there's no rule that overtakes the Constitution and the freedoms that we have in this country, and that's what it's about. In the end, right now in the rule book, in the NFL rule book, there's nothing that says a player has to stand. That's all. And after that, guys, it doesn't matter. Chido Beauzie, yes, 345 King asks, when is Chido coming back? Chido, we don't know. We don't know when he's coming back because Chido right now is missing in action. He was at practice on the field, but he was listed as DNP, did not practice or did not participate. And the reasoning, guys, is because he's still suffering with that hamstring injury. It's still lingering, and obviously it's bad news that it's still occurring right now. It's limiting him from being on the field. It's stopping his progression as a rookie, and that's concerning. He's the only one, really, if you think about our entire injury list, though, he's the only one that's really a concern for us. Now, actually, as I stroll down here, let me see here. How do we fare, in your opinion, on Sunday? Let me see here. Lion. I don't know what that says. All right. Anyways, Ian. Let's see here. So I see that for the Kansas City Chiefs, guys, here's their situation. I'm not going to waste my time with the guys who practiced in full today because they all did yesterday. So if you missed that, go to yesterday's stream. Wow. Did he just get hit late? Tyrod Taylor? Oh, no. Okay. There's a penalty on the Jets. The Bills are driving, though, guys. I'm just giving you a quick update on that. I'll tell you about how we fare on Sunday, though, for sure. But let me go through the injuries here on the Chiefs side of things. This is definitely notable here. Justin Houston, linebacker, probably their best defensive player, in my opinion, now that Barry's out. He is actually, with his knee, he was limited yesterday. He was limited today again, guys. So that's something to watch. He's still going to be not 100% when he plays. They have a tight end, Demetrius Harris, shoulder injury. He was limited at practice again today. Then we have two did not participate, guys, and we're going to start with Albert Wilson, who's a backup receiver, hamstring injury, did not practice again. And our big one here, D. Ford, their linebacker, another linebacker. Remember, we got Houston already hurting. D. Ford did not practice again today, guys. It doesn't look like he's going to play. And they have another guy coming off the PUP list, physically unable to perform list. He's coming. He just came back. He was just activated. But he's just trying to practice. No word yet if he practiced. I don't think he practiced today, so don't look for him coming back to help them either. So Chiefs are a little bit in trouble, guys. They do have a low-ranked defense. No matter what I thought they had a higher-ranked defense, but I heard somewhere where they were 27th against the pass and 28th against the run, the Chiefs. That's not good. They allow almost 400 yards a game of total offense. They are not a good team on defense, and they're hurting on defense. So that brings me to the question asked by Manuel Corona. What do we do? What's going to happen? Well, I think the same thing we did last week, the same thing we did against the Niners, and I think the same thing we did against the Packers in the last drive. I think we're going to run this ball and run this ball again and run the ball one more time, and then run it again and again and again and again. You get my picture? Now, listen, don't get me wrong. Of course, we're going to throw in some passes, safe passes, play action passes, but I don't think it matters who's running the ball this weekend. And I'm only saying that because I know, Kevin Bilbo. I'm a little tired of Chido in the situation. And I don't know. Maybe they're trying to wait to as long as possible to put him in. Part of the coaching staff saying this too. I don't know, but it is strange that this has taken this long with Chido, with so much, so much of his rookie season gone already, vanished. So we need more Chido and more consistency from Chido injury wise. So yeah, I mean, that's what I think our big thing is, guys. It's going to be the major deal for our team to win this. Forget about offense or defense. As a team, we need a game plan, and hopefully the Cowboys are doing something similar to this, where we focus on the run. Our linemen, that's the key. Okay, let's go left to right. Tyron Smith, you see the progression we have at practice with him. He's going to be healthy, ready to go. We got Jonathan Cooper, who looks closer to his top 10 pick potential when he got drafted by the Cardinals, 5 years ago. So 5 or 6 years ago, whenever, I don't know when he was drafted, but he was supposed to be he was a top 10 pick, guys, a 10th pick, I think, overall in the draft. And, I'm not saying he's ever going to get to that point, but when you have Tyron Smith to the left of you, and as we move on to the right, Travis Frederick, our center, guys, this guy's a genius. Really, in real life, he's very smart, Travis Frederick, outside of football. But that makes him much more important inside of football, and the way he is able to read what the defensive front, and I mean the front 7 or 8, what the linemen are doing, where the linebackers are at, which gap they're going to take. That's such an important thing. And you saw this happen. You saw this happen in the game when on 4th down and short, when we went for it against the Redskins, when we were almost at midfield. And literally Travis Frederick yelled something, he did something, some kind of signal to Dak. Dak then did a signal, and it was obviously to the running back, which was Zeke. And they switched, I'm assuming they switched sides and ran to the place where they knew they had the open gap to block and run through. So Travis Frederick is a fantastic center. Can't say much more about this All-Pro guy. I mean, and then you move on to the other All-Pro, another one, aside from Tyron Smith, aside from Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, guys, number 70. We got to re-sign him by the end of the season. He's been pretty solid this entire year. And just, again, guys, as this entire line comes together, they're just gelling together so much better, helping Jonathan Cooper, and then helping our rookie, basically he's a rookie at his position right now, La'el Collins at right tackle, number 71, and I think he's doing a good, not great, a good job so far. I do think he has highs and lows, peaks and valleys with his play, but I do think that overall I see a steady increase. So I do see him playing well and blocking well this weekend, along with, and I got to mention these guys too, Jason Witten, because they do block at tight end, Jason, Hannah, and I almost knocked that something down. Hannah and Swaim. Both these guys are going to be blocking, and they're brought in on 3 tight end packages for blocking purposes. So, touchdown Bills, guys, number 11 from Tyrod Taylor Jones, number 11. I have Kelvin Benjamin in 3 of my leagues. Had to bench him in all my leagues because 10 minutes before I was about to go live, I got a notification that said, "Oh, by the way, Kelvin Benjamin's out." so I had to bench him in all my leagues, and that delayed me a little bit on this stream, by the way. What's up, Gabriel Ramirez? How you doing? Rack City, how you doing? Our defense is young and angry, just like the Seahawks. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're as good as the Seahawks were back when they went to the Super Bowl, but I do agree with you with like the beginnings of it. Yes, we're at the baby stages of our defense coming together. A young, scrappy, aggressive defense. Going to make mistakes, but it's going to make some big plays. And I think, again, we haven't talked much about the Cowboy defense versus the Kansas City offense. By the way, guys, 7-7 with 14:52 in the second quarter. Buffalo and Jets are tied. Thursday Night Football. But, yeah, I mean, I do think that our defense, it's going to be affected based on what we do on offense. And that's how this thing usually works with the way our team is built, the Dallas Cowboys are built. They're going to have a front line, a front wall of players on our side of things to control this game. Those 5 guys I just mentioned, the offensive linemen, plus the 3 other tight ends, and along with Keith Smith, number 41. Don't forget him. He's going to be a vital part of the lead blocking situation when we have I formations or when we spread them out, maybe a little bit of motion, and then he blocks forward for any of our 3 running backs. And I haven't even mentioned any of our running backs yet, guys. You know why? Because they all do more than one thing each, and they can do it well. And so when you take all three of our running backs, Darren McFadden, who I think is going to be the primary guy eventually in the 6-game stretch, number 20, Darren McFadden, he looked very good in preseason other than one fumble against the Raiders. He has over a year and a half, almost 2 years of a break, basically, of just being healthy. Healthy. That's the big thing with him. He stays healthy, guys. He's squeezing out these years here. He's not that crazy old yet. He doesn't really have that many miles on his body, taking hits, because of injuries in the past. But this is the healthiest he's ever been. He might be a little rusty, but I think he's going to do a lot of similar things Zeke did. Now, you go to Alfred Morris, number 46. He's got that burst. He's going to see that hole. He's going to burst through it. He's got the speed. He's got at least like a little truck, smaller truck than McFadden, a smaller truck than Zeke, but still a truck nonetheless. And he has that speed to go with that too. So I like what he can do. He's gotten better receiving out of the backfield, which we would have to see more from him doing that. And the blocking I'd say, his biggest issue, but he's improved on that as well. And Rod Smith, bigger, bigger like and I say bigger like a McFadden, like a Zeke size, I guess you can say. Could be our fullback as well. He plays special teams, but yes, he's going to be playing, I say, 5 snaps a game, maybe as little as 3, maybe as much as 7 or 8. So look, Rod Smith can also catch the ball at the backfield. He's very versatile. You've seen him play for a big guy. He's good. So again, he can do the short yardage things as well if need be. So you got McFadden out there. You got who can, again, let me reiterate. He the way he plays, he runs out. He's kind of like Zeke. He finds that hole and bursts through it. He has the acceleration, not the speed like that Morris has. But McFadden has the acceleration, that burst. So I love that McFadden is very similar to Zeke in that way. They're all similar to Zeke in this way. I mean, Zeke is basically all 3 of these guys combined, and better. So it is a bit of a instead of maybe not breaking it all the way, depending who's on there. Now, if you have Alfred Morris back there, he might do better. He might break it all the way than McFadden or than Rod Smith. But maybe to get to that line, you needed that first, to slip that first couple of tackles, and maybe McFadden could do that. Maybe Rod Smith can do that, and maybe Morris can't. So it really depends. The difference could be a touchdown, but also could be 2 or 3 yards, depending on the situation and the way the Cowboys lined up, who they're using back there. So again, a lot of things depend on what their average carry is going to be. But I do like what we have. We kept these 3 guys for a reason. And the Cowboys, and again, I don't trust too much in the coaching staff, but they do have their reasons that they've worked with these guys all offseason in training camp throughout the season, and they've kept people like McFadden on the team and active. They've kept Morris on the team, even though we could have probably traded him at training camp, because they knew that this Zeke situation could occur, and if it was going to occur, this would be what happens. We're going to see it, guys. I think the Cowboys have been ready for this since before the season started. Oh, well, let me not say that. Since they announced that Zeke was going to be suspended, I think at that moment, this entire it took some time, but I think after a couple weeks, the team was ready to roll without Zeke if need be, meaning week 1. And I think now that it's going to come to fruition, I think you're going to see, the Cowboys want to prove something. The team want to prove something. This is a major, major week against a good team, a good top caliber team, the Kansas City Chiefs, and it's going to be close. It's going to be a tough game, but I do think we can win this game, guys. In the end, I do think we can win it, and based off of our running game and the fact that they don't have a very good defense. The low 20s, guys. They're ranked in the low 20s in rush and pass defense, and overall, of course, overall defense. Now they have other things. They have some scoring on their defense. But that comes down to us not making mistakes. So, I think that, of course, special teams got to watch Tyreek Hill. And their offense, got to watch the running game of Kareem Hunt. But you got to watch Alex Smith, and then you got to put pressure on Alex Smith. So we control the ball. We control the clock, chew up the yards, chew down the clock, whatever you want to call it, and get those touchdowns. Don't get those field goals. Get those touchdowns. Build a lead, 10 points, 14 points, 13 points, something. Start the game by halftime. Please, Garrett, get the ball the second half for once. And, if we can do that, I think that we actually will control the game with our offense, but because we're up by some points, we need our defense to get a couple stops. In the beginning, the first half, we need 2 or 3 stops, 2 and 3, 3 and outs, And if we can get that from our defense, I'll be happy. Limit them to a couple field goals, maybe. Maybe they get a touchdown, but I just want us to hold them somewhat down on offense. And I think that if our offense does its job, I think we could be up by 10 points or 13 points by halftime. If we can just get up by that much, like we have done the last month and a half for the most part. I don't see any reason why we can't continue to run the ball with whoever's back there to seal this game, to run the clock down, to run those yards. And then Dak, when he need be, he throws it. He's beautiful when he throws that pass, play action, run pass option, run option, whatever you want to call it. He'll run it too, guys, sometimes. We're good. We're good. We got our offensive line, and they got their anchors, and they're going to hold it down for us. And that's going to help us there. It's going to help us on our defense. It's going to help us on special teams when it comes to punting and what is that? When you field, what do you call it? Field possession game, that kind of stuff. We're going to, all these things, when our offense is clicking and running the ball, everything else, the passing game, the special teams, the defense, everything else it goes from wherever they're ranked to this much better. So that's where everything lives and dies, guys. And that's what I'm going to really kind of end the Cowboy analyzation right now with that. Of course, there's the whole defense versus their offense, and there's a lot of issues there. I think I have to do a little more looking at how their offensive line stacks up. But if we can get pressure, at least somewhat consistent pressure on Alex Smith, and do what I said on offense, we win this game. It's a win. They have to do a lot of things to beat us as well. So it's not going to be, if we do that, we win pretty well, I think. If we don't do that, I think we do half of those things, it's going to be a close game. And that's what I think. I don't think we're going to be able to master everything, mainly because our coaches, I don't just trust them. So let me look at some of your questions, guys. Gabriel Ramirez, awesome. I'm glad you're going to the game. Actually, another one of our fans, how about them Cowboys? He is also going to the game, so represent the Cowboys out there in KC, Gabriel. Kevin Bilbo says that, yeah, he's too young for these injuries. I know. It was that one injury that happened in the preseason that has lingered throughout, Kevin. Rack City says Xavier Woods is a baby Cam Chancellor. He's a baby. He actually looks like him. That's because he's young, but he actually looks like a smaller version. But that's the thing. He's never going to be as strong as Cam Chancellor. So it's still going to be a little different. Mr. Wright says Gabriel Ramirez sold my tickets to the game 3 weeks ago. Yeah, well, you have that right to protest, man. So and I support your right, Mr. Wright. You're right about that, Mr. Wright. Manuel Corona says I'm worried about Kelsey. He's a beast. I agree, he's a beast. But as I said, Byron Jones is going to be on him for the most part. Not every single play. When they play man and they want to bump and run and something like that, they're going to have Byron Jones. Byron Jones is a big guy. If they had a Uzi, maybe they can use him out there. But you're going to see Byron Jones on their best guy, Kelsey. And I like that. I like the matchup. Again, they're not going to just shut him down. Nobody's going to shut down Travis Kelsey. But I see Byron Jones giving him trouble. I see him being close enough in coverage where it's going to cause Alex Smith some difficulty, along with the pass rush, guys. We need that pass rush. That's just specifically what we need to do. And if we do that stuff, we blow them out. But I'm not saying we're going to do that. I'm just saying if. Mr. Wright says, most of the time when Zeke isn't on the field, offense stalls badly. I agree, but that's why I think you're going to see McFadden, Mr. Wright. I know that everyone's talking, all the talking heads are saying Morris. Watch. I don't know if it's going to be because of play or production, or it's going to be because that's the way the Cowboy coaches kind of want to keep it under wraps a little bit, so that Kansas City cannot prepare for McFadden getting the bulk of the carries. And I say bulk, I mean 15. Then you see 10 maybe going to 15 to McFadden, 10 to Morris, 5 to Smith, something like that. Some kind of breakdown. That 30 rushes. So I'm hoping the Cowboys, again, this is that word, adapt, adjust, whatever you want to call it, adjusting. I hope that they will do the right adjustments. They never really usually do that. I will say they were forced against the Redskins to make adjustments and stop throwing in red zone situations and run the ball because of the rain. Thankfully, that happened. But unfortunately, I don't know if that's going to stop them this week from getting pass happy. So we'll have to see what happens on that. I do agree with it though. If we start going down in points and getting behind, it's going to be an overall issue. By the way, guys, Jets just kicked a field goal. Looks like it's 10-7 right now with 10:26 to go in the second quarter. Jets are up over the Bills, 10-7, with 10:26 in the second. So Rack City is saying Rod Smith's going to start this. All right, well, he's not. Oh, next week. I don't see him starting next week unless something major happens to one of the two guys, meaning McFadden or Alfred Morris. Purple Gaming, smiley face. What's up? South of Heaven, what's up, man? How you doing? You got to go back a few years. Zeke, on the field, we are 15-5. Oh, I agree. 16-5. There you go. Thank you, South of Heaven. By the way, guys, visit his site. He's got some great jerseys there for sale. He creates them, makes them, and they're NFL official. So, NFL official like. Let me put it that way. We do good stuff. So check out his page, guys. Rack City says Kelsey is going to get mad and get disqualified because of Jones. I like that, Rack. I like the way you're thinking now, Rack City. I like that. So I don't know about the Rod Smith thing, but I agree with this one. So I like what you're saying there. So guys, let me give you my picks. Let me jump to that, guys. I've been blabbering for a while. Hey, I'm glad I got to get all your guys' questions. I don't know how many people are on here or not, but all you guys, 15 of you, whatever, hit that like button, guys. Make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. I think we got another subscriber, so thank you. We went away from 800. Awesome. And make sure you hit that go live button, bell, whatever that is. Make sure it's on so you get these notifications when we go live throughout the day and break some news when we do these nightly live streams. And don't forget, guys, we do those game day live streams, reaction ones. Man, those are what we wanted to kind of just do it as a family. As many people in our family we have available during the games, we like to do that. So check that out. That was a full 3 hours, guys. Now, my NFL picks for week number 9. I already said this one, Buffalo at the Jets. I took Buffalo Bills. I do think it's going to be a close game, and right now the Jets are winning 10-7. So the Bills, though, I think that they have too much offense. I put a question mark there. I thought Kelvin Benjamin was going to play. He's not, but I think it's more because he just doesn't know the system. So probably for the best. They already got a passing touchdown, a receiving touchdown from number 11, Zay Jones. So a rookie, that's good work by him. And, they're up. They got that. That's how they tied the game. Now it's 10-7, as I said, in the second quarter. Now, guys, starting on Sunday, Atlanta Falcons at the Carolina Panthers. Very tough game, in my opinion. Very tough game to pick, but I took the Falcons in this one, and I don't know why. Honestly, I think the Falcons are going to rebound. I think the Panthers are just too shaky, and the fact that they gave away Benjamin, they gave him away. I know they have other weapons, but not many left. Olsen's gone. Now Benjamin's gone. It'll be interesting to see what happens, and they're so inconsistent. I don't trust them enough. I'm not saying that the Falcons are consistent, but I think that the Falcons will kind of be forced to run the ball a little more this time, and and then they could use the passing as it comes along. I just hope they don't get right, and I hope they don't get they get the ship right, if you know what I mean. And then next week they blow us out of their new stadium. So we got to make sure we got to keep track on that to see how that game plays out and see if any weaknesses are shown in that game, and keep track of of everything that's going on with the Falcons in that game because we play them next week. The Baltimore Ravens at Tennessee Titans, guys, another tough game. Flacco is back at practice. I don't know how good he's going to be percentage-wise as far as, is he going to be 80%, 70%? He took a huge hit last Thursday against the Dolphins. We did it right here on the stream. But I took Tennessee Titans, man. I don't know what it is. They seem that they have the potential. I just hope they can continue it. Baltimore Ravens have a good defense, but not in both sides of the rushing and passing game. I think they're better in the pass and bad against the run. I'm not really sure. Either way, yeah, I don't think they're very good against the run, the Baltimore Ravens. So I think that with DeMarco Murray, with Henry, with what they have in the offensive line, and with Mariota back, and with another week of rest, Tennessee wins that game against Baltimore. Cincinnati Bengals at Jacksonville Jaguars. I just Cincinnati kind of just too inconsistent, and Jacksonville's looking really good this year. The defense is wicked. I'm going with Jacksonville Jaguars at home. Denver Broncos at the Philadelphia Eagles. I gotta say this. I'm taking the Eagles, unfortunately. No surprise. I would have taken them anyways. I just do think, aside from this Ajayi trade, I don't think you're going to see much of him this game. But if you do, you as a running back, you could probably slide in a little easier maybe than a receiver or obviously than a quarterback. So, I think that Philly wins. I think that they, it really depends on the distance. The difference in the game depends on how good Denver's defense can attack, especially Jason Peters being gone for the year, the left tackle, the blind side for Carson Wentz. That's a game to definitely watch. The Eagles go on a bye after this game, so they want to end this on a high note. Hopefully they're looking past this game. Hopefully they're looking towards their bye and resting. Hopefully they're looking towards the Cowboy game matchup when they come back off their bye in 2 weeks after this game's played. But I don't think they will. I think they're gonna win this game. They'll win it pretty well. And the defense for the Broncos are very good. One of the top ones. They're not playing in Denver, so it won't be as hard for Philly. But I think that that Philly has enough at home to squeak by and win and beat the Denver Broncos against that tough defense. Now, Indianapolis Colts at the Houston Texans. I had made the pick already, and I'm going to keep it with Houston. Even with Jacoby Brissett back there and playing well, I think they could win, but the Houston defense is very good. They're also playing at home. Even without their start with Deshaun Watson, who's looked easily would have been the pick to make on that in that game is Houston, but now it becomes a closer game. I do think it's a close game, but Houston wins it with, I think, Savage as their quarterback. The LA Rams at the New York Giants, guys. 0-7, 0-8. Is that what we're going to say here? Because I'm sorry, 1. I'm sorry, they're not 0 anymore. But the Rams win this game in New York. Won't be as easy as people think it's going to be, though. But I do think the Giants stay with one win. And I think they lose at home again to the Rams. Gurley's going to just pound that rock and just, they'll wear them down and beat the Giants eventually. It'll be closer than people think. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the New Orleans Saints. Now, everyone, the Saints are right now technically a playoff team. They would be in the playoffs. That's one of those trap games, I think. You might see the Bucs, their division game, but I'm going to stick with New Orleans. They're at home. They definitely got Breeze leading them in the positive direction, so I think the Saints continue winning. Arizona Cardinals at San Francisco. I don't think Garoppolo's going to play this weekend, guys. Jimmy Garoppolo. I think I don't think he's going to pick up that offense that fast. If he does, I still think the Arizona Cardinals beat them, even though they're kind of struggling with Stanton as their quarterback. Their defense is good. They got Peterson in there. We'll see what happens, but the Niners are banged up all over, both sides of the ball. I think the Cardinals win. Now, guys, the big one, the big game. Kansas City Chiefs at the Dallas Cowboys. As I said already, Dallas Cowboys. I picked them. I think it'll be a close game. I think the Cowboys do win. I think the Cowboys can win by more if they do things right. If they do the things that I mentioned earlier in this stream, if they do those things, I think they can win this game by a span of double digits, like a 10 or 13-point game. But I see it being like a 4-point win for the Cowboys or a 3-point win for the Cowboys. We're going to need Mr. Mike Nugent to hit those field goals if need be. The Redskins at Seattle. And I'm saying Washington, D.C. Redskins, not Washington State, playing Seattle in Washington. Yes, the Washington Redskins, they're going to be hanging in there. But I think Seattle, 12th man, no contest. Seattle wins that game and kind of handles them pretty well. We've seen them upset teams like the Raiders before they were as bad as we see them kind of being right now. So you never know. Redskins could surprise some people, but I just see Seattle kind of doing what they need to do to win that game. Defense and at home, they got it. Now, speaking of Oakland at Miami, giving away Ajayi like Miami did to the Eagles. I think the Raiders win it just a little bit easier. So I do think that's Sunday night. That's a Sunday night game. The Raiders win at Miami, in my opinion. The Detroit Lions at Green Bay, and I see a lot of people picking Green Bay in this game. I say no. I think Detroit Lions win this game. Stafford. And company. I think they're going to be able to handle, Hundley, whatever his name is, from the Packers. They don't have Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, they did. I'd take Green Bay, but I think the Lions win this game. And I picked next week's game too, guys. Seattle at Arizona. I'm taking Seattle for the next week for obvious reasons. But there's my entire pick set. I was 13-0 last week, guys, and guess what? So was Little J. She was 13-0 as well. So. We are, my Cowboys family, we know football. Fiance she lost one game. Little G, I think, lost 2. Like I said, Little J was 13-0, like Dad. And Grandma, she does the picks too, believe it or not. And she only lost 1 game as well. So, overall, guys, if you picked the teams that were supposed to win last week, you pretty much did really, really well in your picks. But it's hard to go undefeated no matter where you're at or how easy the week might be. Thank you very much. So you just heard my picks. Hopefully they help you in yours. These are just straight up picks. These aren't with point spreads or anything like that. Let me see here, guys. Again, just a little my sideline reminder. Hit that like button. It helps the stream out. There's a Patreon page if you want to donate to there. We more than appreciate it. We have a couple guys that have done it already. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, I know that, Rack City. I know. I was making a joke. I was saying that the game is in Washington State. So it's in Seattle, in Washington State. That was the joke. Sorry about that, guys. Yes, Manuel, I agree it's going to be close. Brock is going to start for the Denver Broncos. By the way, Brock Osweiler, guys, believe it or not. Simeon is benched. Mr. Wright, take care. Go milk your goat. And Manuel Corona says, big interview for me tomorrow. Finally, this new job, my boys will win this game. Well, then, great luck to you, Manuel Corona. Not, of course, for yourself, but also help our Cowboys, do well tomorrow on your interview and get that job. I just wanted to say a couple things, guys. Today, Alfred Morris was working with the first team. That's actually kind of important. I didn't mention that earlier. So you're seeing him being the preliminary starter. Rod Smith received all the work with the second team from what they saw. So we're seeing Rod Smith being a backup. And I don't mean, and I think when you see Rod Smith working with the starters, I think you mean that they means that they're going to alternate Rod Smith and McFadden. And Alfred Morris and McFadden are going to rotate at the starting spot, while Rod Smith's going to have a more centralized, specific role when it comes to maybe a receiving situation, a blocking situation, or short yardage situation. So look for that, guys. Again, that other running back, our 5th running back on the team, Trey. He is practice squatter, but he's just there to really relieve some hits and some practice time for the other running backs, so they don't have to take the whole load. Remember, guys, they don't have Ezekiel Elliott on the facility. He's not allowed there. So right now, he's kind of just has to stay home. Like I said, DeMarcus Lawrence told him don't watch the games, because when he was suspended last year, he couldn't be on the facility. He said he watched the games. That was the worst thing for him. He just watched the highlights. So he said he advised. He didn't watch the highlights. He advised Zeke to watch the highlights. Much less painful. Let me see here, guys. I think we do have just in the Zeke thing, guys. Status quo of him is that he's suspended, meaning that the union is actually asking for a change. They're trying to make this change here. Hopefully it's going to lead to a change, not just now, but in the future when it comes to these kind of situations. But that's a lot deeper, and it involves a CBA and a renegotiating situation, which means maybe a strike. You never know. So that's all the news of the day, guys. As I went through all the Cowboy injuries, I went through all the NFL picks, I went through the Zeke news. I did, I just give you a good reboot of everything for the day and a big tie-up to everything. It's about an hour on here. I'm going to relax now and watch the end of this game here. Right now it's currently 10-7. Jets are winning with right under 5 minutes right now left to play. My running back is there, Forte, getting me a good 6-7 yard gain. And the Jets are moving the ball. So let's see what happens, guys. Watch the end of this game. We'll see what happens. I hope you're right, Rack City. I hope you're right. What's up with the Riveter? How you doing? I agree with you on that, Riveter. I'm nervous about it. And again, the Eagles defense is good. So those two things are a problem. We just hope that they run the ball often. And that I'm saying that, not that they're going to win the game that way, but let the defense win the game for you in this situation for the Broncos. You want to run the ball so you don't make dumb mistakes with Osweiler throwing a pick and giving the Eagles an easy touchdown. So, and I don't mean that's pick 6. I mean, then they get to work on that. Give them field position. You don't want to do that. You don't want to lose that field position game with a good defense like that. We'll see, Rack City. I hope, but it ain't happening. So, guys, thanks again for joining me. Make sure you hit that like button, guys, on the stream. If you've missed any of this, go back. We're going through all this stuff in this hour. Make sure you hit subscribe if you're new. Hit the notification bell, guys. We do go live and break news throughout the day. So whether it's me or my fiance, we will definitely get back with you probably sometime in the afternoon tomorrow or early afternoon, late morning. Any kind of new big updates, anything with Awuzie. That's our next guy that we want to see out there playing. We want to see Awuzie on the field. If he doesn't practice tomorrow, he probably doesn't play on Sunday. So, not probably. He doesn't play on Sunday. I'm going to call it. So just keep our minds on that. There was no setbacks today, which is good. Everybody that we wanted practicing in some form or fashion was out there practicing, whether it was limited basis or whatever. We want to see Beasley full tomorrow. We want to see Tyron Smith full tomorrow. Everybody else, we want to see DeMarcus Lawrence go to, full or limited again. No setbacks. Des Bryant's full. So we're good. We're good to go, guys. Just Awuzie is the big name that's still out there. Beasley, he's out of concussion protocol. He went he went limited practice today, but tomorrow he should be full. So we're in good shape, guys. No need to worry. Well, thank you, Riveter. I'm glad you're intrigued. I wonder what the reasons are for that. But much love, man. Thank you, whoever you are. I appreciate you watching us. And thank you. We will try to keep up the good work. Much appreciated. South of Heaven says he has a McFadden Morris in fantasy. Who does he start? Well, Morris is the starter officially, but you're going to see the same. I think you're going to see both playing about the same amount of snaps. So it's whoever you think is going to be the guy who's going to break it. I think I would put McFadden in. That's me. But I've been saying that since the beginning of the year, so maybe I'm biased. But I say McFadden. Everyone see? Someone says Rex Shady says Morris. So someone says Rod, and then he says Rod Smith's going to take his points. All good. Good night, Manuel. Thank you, man. We will keep up the good stuff. It's a lot easier when I have more people. Fiance with me here. She's busy. It's a school night, computer. She has online classes. So, I let her do her stuff, guys. Everything is set. We're gonna relax and watch the end of this game. And guys, again, hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Watch our ads. That helps us. I haven't said that in a while. Make sure you watch our ads, guys. That helps the channel donation-wise. Like financially, we can get better mics, better backgrounds, as you can see. Nothing's wrong with the Cowboy star, but it is a towel. So, you know, so there's a lot of different things we can improve on. And we definitely plan on doing shirts and other stuff coming soon, guys, as this channel slowly but surely grows. So, hybrid out of the backfield for sure. I don't know if we're going to have all of them at the same time, but I definitely see all three guys, as a hybrid. But they all can do. The key is all running backs do more than just one good thing. Okay, then if you just had one guy who you can just run for short yardage, it'd be Rod Smith, but he can also catch the ball. He can also block when need be. He can also, you know, he's also very agile as well. So he does a lot of other things well. You have, you know, Alfred Morris, who's quick. He's got speed. He's got ability. He's improved his catching. He's improved his blocking. But he's the most, I guess, speedy, as you'd say. He's smaller and he can truck you over with that kind of size. So, you know, the fact that he's smaller, it's tricky to stop him. He's had a lot of good years and a great year at Washington when he was there. And then you have McFadden, who's the vet. He knows it best. And he's big. He's strong. He can catch. He can block. He's most like Zeke. But again, guys, the hybrid thing is what you're going to see mainly on this weekend against the Chiefs. But I think McFadden would be the best chance to score, especially if we drive the ball and if we do go on the running game side of things like I suggested. If we get to the goal line, we're going to score. So, you know, I do think that McFadden will be the guy that'll be running at the goal line. Rod Smith might be vulturing some points in fantasy if you're thinking about that. So he might be somebody you might see at the goal line. But I would stick with McFadden on the goal line. I don't see Morris doing the goal line work. We'll see what happens, guys. So, hey, it's almost halftime here at the Bills game. I see that the Bills got the ball back. They stopped the Jets. So we're about going under 3 minutes here, and it's 10-7 Jets before halftime. So, guys, finally, yes. You want to buy me Call of Duty, guys, and I'll play it and stream it. Yeah, Riveter, our O-line has stepped it up. They just need to continue stepping it up. They're gelling better. Every week they've gotten better since the Packers, since the coach has been calling the plays with the running mindset over the trying to get cute passing thing. So, guys, we're gonna be fine. No need to worry yet. Remember, guys, tomorrow we do another live stream in the evening. Saturday night we do a live stream with Madden, and I do a whole breakdown of the Cowboys Chiefs game with whoever's going to be starting. We're not going to have Zeke in that one, and I'm going to really break down both sides of the ball on that and just kind of see the players out there in at work, basically, a preview of the Sunday game. And of course, Sunday is the big stream, guys, the reaction stream. So make sure you keep that in mind. You know, we do this every day, multiple times a day with the breaking news. So make sure you hit that notification bell. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. Hit the like button, guys. And as always, never forget, go Cowboys! Woo! That's right, brothers and sisters. Take care. Have a good night. Stay safe. Catch us tomorrow. Go Cowboys.